Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. What happens next at Manchester United after the European Super League collapses? Now, Man United's owners threw the football world into chaos over the European Super League plans. Now, the Glazers have said sorry. Joel Glazer released a statement yesterday and apologised to Man United fans over the European Super League. And Joel Glazer said he got it wrong. I'm not interested what they've got to say. All United fans, I presume, are demanding the Glazers out. Some reports are saying that the Glazers are ready to sell Manchester United. The Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. But yeah, the Glazers were planning to ditch the Champions League for the European Super League. So Manchester United need new owners, but who is going to replace the Glazers? We've actually been in for the Sergio Arabians before. Now, it got announced the other day that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United Executive Vice Chairman. It says Woodward will stand down at the end of 2021, but recent reports have now said that Woodward is expected to leave Man United in the summer rather than the end of the year. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. I presume all United fans are happy that Ed Woodward has resigned, because we've been very critical of him for a long time. Obviously, there's main explanations behind it. Obviously, Woodward hasn't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired. Our recruitment has been very, very poor for the last 8 years or so, and we've overpaid for players. Woodward has showed his support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer several times, even when we was enduring them really bad periods. He said towards the end of last year that he will back in with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And he did say that he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement, did Ed Woodward, earlier on this season, saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Now, reports said yesterday that there's 5 candidates that Man United are looking at, who could replace Ed Woodward. Now, Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward at Manchester United. If we get Edwin van der Sar in, it'll be the right decision by Manchester United. Because Edwin van der Sar, knows the club through thick and thin. Don't forget he endured 6 years at Manchester United. He was obviously a goalkeeper. He was with us from 2005 to 2011. And Edwin van der Sar has got the experience. He's currently CEO at Ajax, and I think he's done a very, very good job at Ajax. Edwin van der Sar has been linked with a technical director's role at Manchester United. But I hate the way that the club has been run for a long time. So I'm glad Woodward's resigned, and I want the Glazers to go as well. And hopefully we can get, people in, that can run the club correctly. So yeah, it confirmed not so long ago that all clubs withdrew from the European Super League. I was very, very sceptical that it was going to go ahead anyway. If it had gone ahead, it had just ruined everything, basically. Everybody was against the European Super League, apart from the owners. The owners of clubs were the only ones that wanted it to go ahead, so they could generate more money. Sky Sports said earlier on this week, didn't they, that 12 clubs had agreed to join this new European Super League. Gary Neville had a lot to say on this European Super League. Like I've updated you on my recent videos, Gary Neville called for the Glazer family to sell Manchester United and leave the country. He called them scavengers. Neville was fuming over the European Super League. But he said, he was very convinced that it won't go through, not a chance. I agreed everything what Gary Neville said. Gary Neville, not so long ago, had a heated argument with Jurgen Klopp over that European Super League debate. On one of my videos I did recently, I give you exactly everything that was said. Gary Neville apologised to Jurgen Klopp because Gary Neville was actually critical of Liverpool's anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone." Not so long ago, Marcus Rashford hit out at that European Super League. And Rashford put a post on. And it was a banner, and it said, "Football is nothing without fans." And underneath, it said, "Sir Matt Busby." Bruno Fernandes, he also had his perception on it. Luke Shaw had his perception on it. Not so long ago, like I updated you on, Harry Maguire confronted Ed Woodward in a meeting after Man United players were left in the dark over the European Super League plans. So, there you go. Now, give you some news on Bruno Fernandes. So, according to recent reports, Bruno Fernandes will sign a new £200,000 a week contract and stay at Manchester United, but only if Paul Pogba does. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Bruno Fernandes was refusing to sign a new contract at Man United until he has assurances over the club's transfer plans. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025, but there's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. Bruno Fernandes has been at Manchester United over a year. Don't forget, he did say on his 12-month anniversary that he's planning on spending many years at Man United. In a lot of Bruno Fernandes' games, he has been very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he has looked off the pace. I think Man United have overplayed Bruno Fernandes, and I said he needs a rest at some point, but earlier on this season he denied that he needed a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. Now, we initially paid £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, but the overall cost with the add-ons is just over £67 million. You know, Fernandes has won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He predominantly plays as a number 10. He's our best player and he's the best signing we have made since the Ferguson era. Now, Paul Pogba, I'd like him to stay at Manchester United, potentially past the summer. I think a lot of Man United fans will have the same perception as me on that. Because Paul Pogba brings creativity to the team. We've been getting the best out of him in recent months. You know, disregarding Paul Pogba, we lack creativity in the team. We are far too defensive. Recently, we've been playing Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. We need to keep him in that advanced role because that's where he's more effective. I'm not too keen on Pogba in a deeper role. And we've played him as in a deeper role quite a few times before. Now, it recently said that Paul Pogba is demanding £500,000 a week to sign a new contract at Manchester United. If he was to meet his demands, then it'd take his overall earnings close to £800,000 a week, because at the moment Pogba's on like 290 grand a week on his current contract. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year, because earlier on this season we triggered that 1 year extension on his contract. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that he hopes Paul Pogba stays and signs a new contract. Ollie did say earlier on this season that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United, and it said our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell Pogba. Not so long ago, Paul Pogba gave an exclusive interview to Sky and he criticised Jose Mourinho, didn't he? He says Jose Mourinho went against the players and he said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is different. So, reflecting on that, Paul Pogba is 100% Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. You know, Jose Mourinho hit back at his comments and he said he doesn't care less what Paul Pogba had to say about his reign as Manchester United manager. Not so long ago, it got announced that Jose Mourinho got sacked from Tottenham. But Paul Pogba insists that he's happy at Manchester United. Earlier on this season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. And he was a big miss. First part of this season was that he had an ankle injury. And he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries at Manchester United. He's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. And his former club Juventus have been in for him. I said if he leaves Man United in the summer transfer window, there's a very good chance he'll go back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined us. And swap deals have been high on the agenda. There was Italian reports coming out not so long ago saying that there could be a swap deal involving Cristiano Ronaldo and Paul Pogba. That'd probably be a good swap deal from Man United and Juventus' perspective. And it says Juventus were willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Pogba. As it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Is it just over 89 million with add-ons included? And this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. And we know Mini Oriola's been desperate to get his client out of the football club. So, there you go. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for him and Manchester United in general. Now, the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. So far, he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, and he has made good signings and he's spent almost £300 million. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window. And he'll be Man United manager next season. I've already said that Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Man United because progress has been made. I've already said that Solskjaer is not the long-term future for Man United. But our board think he's the long-term manager for the club because earlier on this season it said that Solskjaer agreed a new 3-year contract worth £30 million. Said it's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. I presume that there's some United fans and that disagree with us giving him this new contract. I think Ollie's still got like a year left on his current 3-year contract. So yeah, Solskjaer will not be sacked, even if we fail to win the Europa League this season. The Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Manchester United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy. But I think we've got a very good chance of winning it. You know, we are into the semi-finals of the Europa League. That's 5 semi-finals in total under Solskjaer. And we've got Roma. And we are aware of how much of a difficult game that's going to be. You know, Solskjaer recently spoke about Man United playing Roma in the semi-final. And he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United. I want Solskjaer to get to his first major final. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as you all know, warned earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. This is what he said. And earlier on this season, it said that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window because, like I said, we got John Murtough, he's our director of football, and it was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in. Because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed, and we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. So yeah, there's a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. Now, I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. So, Michael Zorg, Borussia Dortmund's sporting director, he's adamant that Erling Haaland will be at Dortmund next season. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already warned Manchester United about the Erling Haaland transfer. He said the other week that Man United were relying on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's close bond with Haaland, to secure the signing of the player. Now, the Athletic said earlier on this season that, Man United are one of the clubs that can afford Erling Haaland. Dortmund are demanding £150 million. He did say as well earlier on this season that Erling Haaland to Man United was off following Mino Raiola's roadshow. And he said we was worried about the Erling Haaland transfer pursuit because of Jadon Sancho. Mino Raiola, Erling Haaland's agent, and his father, Alf-Inge Haaland, have already been to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. They've also held talks with Barcelona and Real Madrid. He said earlier on this season, didn't it, that we declined to meet Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. He said as well that Mino Raiola wanted to make Erling Haaland the first £1 million a week player. Now, the main explanations I take Erling Haaland at Manchester United is because he's young, he's got a lot of development in him, he'd assure his goals, and plus he knows Solskjaer well. Solskjaer gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. So they are the reasons. And he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. Back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Earlier on this season, it said that Solskjaer kept calling Haaland to persuade him to join Man United, because it said earlier on this season that Solskjaer was following Erling Haaland's progress and keeping in touch with the player. Solskjaer did also reveal how impressed he was with Erling Haaland's training at Molde, but he made an admission saying that he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Prior to the Brighton game, in Solskjaer's press conference, don't forget he played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland. He said the player will make his own mind up. Haaland has a £68 million release clause, but doesn't become active until next year. Dortmund only paid £17 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. He's got a contract with Dortmund till 2024 and he's been there now over a year. There's a few strikers we've looked at. You already know the news on Harry Kane, don't you, from Tottenham. Kane obviously wants to leave Tottenham at the end of the season if Tottenham fail to qualify for the Champions League. But Kane said he wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. We'll have to make an offer of at least 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. We've been in for Harry Kane for a long time, and I'd take Dominic Calvert-Lewin at Manchester United because he's a very, very good striker and he's done well at Everton. There's been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda as well. You already know the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid, don't you? The other day, I gave you the news on Wesley Fofana from Leicester. Said a few weeks ago that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings, aren't we? I expect quite a few players to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Cavani, it looks like, he's going to be leaving Man United. I presume all United fans are disappointed with this because all United fans, I presume, or a lot of them, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would like Cavani to stay at Man United for next season because he has made a fantastic impact. He recently said that Cavani made his transfer decision. Multiple reports from South America said that Cavani has informed Man United that he'll be leaving at the end of the season. It looks very, very imminent that he's going to be going to Boca Juniors. A lot of Man United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. I think there's a good chance Juan Mata will depart the club. I think we should offload Donny van der Beek. The main reason is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Matic, I think we should offload him because analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been inconsistent, and I've got my strong reservations about him because he's always been a slow player, and plus he's not one of our first choice midfielders. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave as well. Could we offload Tuan Zebe because he doesn't get in our 11? Diego Dalot, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. Sergio Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him. And we know we could sell De Gea in the summer transfer window. But some Man United fans think it would be a mistake to let De Gea go. But like I've said in regards to Solskjaer, he is our best manager since Ferguson. He's our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been criticised a lot as Manchester United manager. And obviously there has been a lot of Man United fans demanding him out of the club. They've obviously had main explanations why they've been demanding him out of the club, but I presume there's still quite a lot of Man United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season. Next season will be his third full season at the club. Like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Solskjaer. My two biggest concerns about him is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. That doesn't mean he can't succeed as Man United manager though, and his decision making also concerns me because in a lot of his games at Man United, he's been tactically naive. Yeah, there's some games where he's showed tactical flexibility in that, but he's got to show that persistently. But there's positives regarding Solskjaer. A lot of positives, should I say, in fact. He has made good signings as Man United manager. He has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. This season he's done well in quite a lot of aspects. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He's got us to the Europa League semi-final. Got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We are unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games. We're second in the Premier League. We're now 11 points behind City because City won 2-1 against Villa yesterday. The title race is now over, but Solskjaer said not so long ago that Man United will never ever give up on the Premier League title. Last season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season, he did well. He guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a 3rd place finish. And we've enjoyed good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency, and in some of them good periods he's got the best out of the team. And I like the way he's promoted the youth. Ole seems to have a lot of trustworthy in his young players. And Solskjaer's beaten quite a few big name managers as Manchester United manager. So there are the positives. He's been Man United manager now over 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The main explanation we give Solskjaer the job 2 years ago was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager, Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Some United fans think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in, but when Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances. Let's put into the equation Ole is inheriting players from other managerial eras. Now, doing more videos later on my next video, I will be giving you a preview for the Leeds United Man United game, and then your starting 11 prediction will be coming up. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.